Can I go to the annual report, which is the substantial area I'd wish to question? The annual report has reported an underspend of $670.6 million, and I find that strange in the context of the Defence Strategic Review, which has observed that the defence budget, and I quote, is carrying significant pressures across acquisition, sustainment, workforce and operating categories, end quote. And when I asked in the last estimate about projects that had to be cancelled because of cost pressures, you gave me a great list of projects, including a number that you wouldn't disclose, and I accept that, but billions of dollars worth of projects. I'm struggling to understand, given so much over-programming, I think the DSR talked about 24%, a long list of projects that you've had to go through some tooth-pulling to actually decide what you're not going to remedy in terms of estate or equipment or other capabilities. How can we end up with an underspend of $670.6 million?
Stephen, I'll ask the CFO to talk a little bit about underspends and overspends. Senator.
Stephen Groves, Chief Finance Officer, Senator. Yes, we did have an underspend. It represented 1.4% of the defence budget. Overall, it's not dissimilar to the overspend we had the year before of around $530 million. I think variations in a budget of 1% actually, I'm not sort of defending any position, but is actually a fairly good outcome in regard to what we're talking about as $50 billion a year budgets.
Mr Groves, I completely understand that in terms of magnitude, but given the pressures that the ADF is under, both in your own words and in the words of the DSR, and the fact that you have a long list of projects that had to be cancelled or deferred in order to find that $7.8 billion that the government wanted for DSR, we have seen in the last month, so 19th of September, $1.5 billion decision on a fourth Triton, which from the broader public's perception appeared out of nowhere. It seemed to be a fairly short notice decision, even though the original project I think was 6. So decisions can be made, and my question is, if we are facing such a shortage of money that we're having to cancel a whole range of projects, then why wasn't a decision made to absorb some of that 24% of over-commitment that the DSR talks about to execute at least one or perhaps a couple of these facilities or other projects?
Senator, as you know, the defence budget, and when we talk about the pressures facing the defence budget, in particular the ones that the Secretary spoke about, that's looking over the next forward estimates or the decade period. So a lot of when we're talking about pressures on the budget are certainly a reflection of the future. As you may know, that the projects are quite hard during a financial year to switch back on, if you like, or ramp up activity to achieve, a totally balanced budget outcome. We're always looking for those opportunities where we do see some softness, and we have seen some softness in the budget over the last few years, particularly around acquisition due to a range of supply chain issues, industry shortages, etc. We have seen that over a period of time. I think we are constantly looking for those opportunities as they do arise on where we can ramp up activity, legitimately ramp up activity and expenditure where we have some capacity. But I would also say and just remind that the outcome that we had in the 22-23 financial year is almost the converse of what happened in 21-22 when we had a minor overspend as well, around 1%. So these swings and roundabouts do happen, but overall, when you look at our financial performance over the last few years, it's very solid. But when we're talking about pressures, we're looking forward.
Thank you.